This is it. The ultimate showdown for storm chasers in 2026. When I think of storm chasing simulators, I think of Outbreak and actually Helicity on the Roblox platform. One's kind of a realistic open world experience, and the other is, like I said, it's on Roblox, so you can imagine the graphical difference there. But which one actually delivers the best storm chasing experience? Today, we're going to dive into gameplay. We're going to look at the realism, the community, and the long term potential. And by the end, I'll give you my verdict on which I prefer. Let's start with Outbreak. It was developed by TSW Studios. It's currently on PC in the Steam store. It focuses a lot on realistic weather physics, and it is very immersive. Kind of think like American Truck Simulator meets Twister, if I had to sum it up for you. Meanwhile, Helicity is a Roblox game that gives you the storm chasing experience minus some of the realism, you could say. Now, it does have radar like Outbreak, but the visuals aren't as great, we'll say that. But it has a cult like community, and I can only see good things coming from it. Visually, Outbreak takes the lead here. No surprise. The storms are volumetric. The tornadoes themselves act like real life tornadoes, and that is because the developers have mimicked the data off of real life tornado physics, storm physics. You have in depth radar ability, so you can see reflectivity, you can see the velocity, cape, plenty of options there. Whereas Helicity, on the other hand, is on Roblox and has a general map with a radar kind of polygon, and it shows certain icons to let you know if there's rotation. But that's about as in depth as you can get with that. So you can kind of see the polygon of where the tornado warning is or the supercell is going to be. But from that point, it's kind of just almost guessing the pattern. So in Outbreak, you're going to navigate a massive map that I will have to get the data from you, but I know each section of the map kind of mimics the United States. So you'll have like Dixie Alley, Tornado Alley, the Midwest, the Southwest, like down in New Mexico. So it's really awesome to see how the environment changes depending where you are on the map. The weather alerts come through, severe thunderstorms, tornado warnings, and you drive miles upon miles in this game to chase a storm. You have to be patient. Storms have to develop over time, like in real life, and it's the fully immersive experience here. So Helicity, on the flip side, kind of just focuses more on community and the multiplayer experience, if you will. You can kind of just jump in and chase immediately. Like I said, it's very simplified. There's no additional radar features besides the general map. And it's more of just getting in there with the boys and having a good time. Community is where Helicity really shines. The Roblox player base keeps the servers live and full, whereas Outbreak kind of struggles with that. But new players can learn the basics of storm mechanics fairly quickly, and it keeps the action packed, so you're never bored. You're constantly chasing the next storm. Whereas Outbreak has kind of a smaller community, but it's very realistic. So you could be sitting on a storm cell and you're waiting and waiting and waiting until, the storm actually intensifies and drops a tornado. In regards to simulation and realism, Outbreak takes the cake there. Both games are growing, but in different directions. So Outbreak is aiming for a full simulator realism. Possibly, we're going to see some expansions into other vehicles, some storm data collection, some co-op chasing, but it's only kind of scratched the surface. It is still in early access. Helicity kind of evolves fast. The developers drop new storms and updates frequently, with Roblox community kind of being their basis there. So as long as the developers keep the game updated, I can't see the community dying anytime soon. It's the perfect mix of fun and community driven kind of interaction. So, which one wins the title of Best Storm Chasing Simulator of 2026? If you want realism, immersion, and that authentic chase experience, Outbreak is your game 100%. But if you want the community, instant action, and more fun accessibility because the community is larger, Helicity takes the crown. My pick for the best potential game is definitely Outbreak. It's in the early stages. It has the realism. I think the developers are still working on it. Obviously, they're keep updating the game, but there's a few bugs. I think it needs to be a little bit more optimized. The frame rate kind of gets a little sketchy here and there. And in my opinion, there could be some updates in regards to the destruction from these tornadoes. They could build out the towns a little bit more. I feel like unless it's like a huge tornado, there is no damage left. Like, yes, you'll see some trees flying in the air. And if it's a really big, like an EF4 or EF5 tornado, obviously there's destruction on the houses and stuff, but it's kind of lacking compared to Helicity's damage. Like, I mean, as you've seen in the footage, there was power lines sparking in Helicity, but that isn't happening in Outbreak. But Outbreak is supposed to be more realistic. So I think there's some improvements that can be made for Outbreak to really just help it dominate. Because right now, you know, the player base isn't as big as the Roblox platform, but I think it has the greatest potential for storm chasing. But I'll say this, if you love storms, you love tornadoes, chasing, each one brings something incredible to your experience. I personally play both. I switch it up. I go for Outbreak when I want that realistic kind of immersion gaming, and I go to the Roblox side and Helicity if I want more action because the storms drop faster. They don't have to necessarily develop. Yes, you see like the circulation and whatnot, and you can kind of follow it on the map, but it's constantly giving you tornadoes being populated in the game. So, which game would you pick to play as your primary storm chasing game? Leave a comment below and drop a like if you love storm chasing content. 2026 just started, so let's see how these games evolve, and we'll see which one reigns supreme by the end of the year.